Hey everyone, Lauren here, and we've got a fun quick little 8x8 layout this time. So I'm making an album for my son for just about his pet rabbit Padme, who unfortunately died. So it would be good for him, obviously sad, but also good at the same time, to have this album to document his memories. And it's something that I checked with him before I started making to make sure it wasn't going to be too overwhelming. And when it's done and finished, I will share with him, and rather than share with him bit by bit, so that he can take it all in and have all his emotions around it. So I've got the little page protector here, and then I'm just going to cut down the photo. This photo here is the day that he met Padme. We went to pick it up from the house that they were born at, and he's standing right next to the cubby house that they altered to have for the space for the rabbits. So it was a really nice photo to have taken, not obviously in terms of photography skills, but a nice moment to document and to have as a memory always. So I just chopped it down so that it was small enough, not overwhelmingly on the page. Sometimes I will keep the 4x6 on an 8x8 layout, just depends on the format and the topic of the photo, I guess, in terms of what is needed. So I'm just going to put it there, and I've cut down my pattern paper, and I picked this floral pattern paper because it just was too beautiful not to highlight on a page, and I really wanted to use it, and I thought it would really just go so well with this project, and I'm very happy that I was brave enough to cut into it. So I'm just cutting down a little border for my photo, and then I'm thinking about some of the other paper pieces that I've got handy and what I would like to add to the page. So I'm thinking some of this pink would be lovely as a strip behind the photo, so I cut it down, and then I'm going to lay it there. But I do fuss around a little, because if you see, there's some stars on the pink paper. This one's going to be horrible. I don't know why I tried that one. But there's some stars on the pink paper, and I put it here to measure and cut. But after I cut it, I realised, which way do I want it to have all the stars properly visible? But then I spent so much time doing that, and then it's crazy. It's like all the mixed media. You put a lot of effort in, and then you have to realise that you cover up a lot of mixed media. So it's, yes, it's great for your technique and product process, but you have to be mindful about getting it in the right spot. So I spent all that time on something that is mostly covered up in the end, and is just one of those hints to the layering and what goes into the whole background, rather than it being a big feature. So I've pulled out some of the embellishments, and here I'm looking into the puffy stickers that we got, and I love this garden party collection, and I'm really stopping myself from buying more of it, and it is becoming harder and harder and harder. We've got the lovely thickers in the kit, and I'm just pulling out my title using my T-square ruler, just because it's clear and a ruler, and I can use it to put two of the words at the top, two of the words at the bottom, and then have a good idea about how it's going to look when I overlap it on the page. So pulling out the layers weren't popping enough off each other, and so I've pulled out my StazOn ink and am inking up the edges of the pattern paper, and obviously that's better to do before you stick it down on the photo, and definitely before you stick it down on the pattern paper. And I think it just highlights each layer that way a lot more, and sort of brings a lot of 3D-ness to the layout. So you can see just one little layer behind the photo, and then two little layers of pattern paper across the background, and that's the majority of the design. I am now just going to embellish and add my title and work on that, rather than working on the background as such. So trying to bring the foreground of the embellishments into meet the background and become one, rather than things sitting on top and not blending in properly. So I worked on adding this photo, and then I'm going to add that little label behind it just for that pop of colour, not because I want to write any journaling in there. My title says it all, but it was a nice little pop of colour to add to the layers there. Okay, so my title's on now. I'm going to have a little play around with the position of it for a couple of seconds, but then I am happy. I then have this circle embellishment that I've already cut out, and then half of the label left, and I'm going to add a little cluster on the left there to even out what's going on. So this is a very horizontal layout. I don't do anything up the top and don't do anything too much down the bottom. I do a little bit under the rainbow, but not much. Now this XOXO I really loved, and it would have worked on top of the title. Of course I would have, it wasn't the right thing because the title then wouldn't have made sense, but it did look nice. But it's okay because I'm glad I didn't use it on this layout, because the one I did use it on I really loved, because that, you know, it looked even better on that layout. So I'm just cutting down this puffy gold banner, so it's going to layer under that pattern paper layer and across the pink edge, and then I'm going to add a little bit down the bottom where the rainbow meets the photo, just to have a little bit of that gold hang down. And yes, they're a little bit different shade of gold, but not enough for me to really care about at all. So that's a really nice little pop. Makes your eyes be drawn across the paper. And we're going to work on getting some of these clear stickers onto the page. So of course I'm going to pick one of the rabbits, and I'm going to put it on some cardstock so that I can cut it out, and then I can bump it up on fun foam. The point of putting it on the white cardstock is not only to be able to put it on the fun foam, but also because then it's not transparent and you see all the pattern paper layers behind it. So I've used these stickers a fair bit, and I have, you know, I guess found each embellishment as either being that it needed to go down directly onto the layout or onto cardstock before it went down. So you can see here a couple are just going to go on without any background of white cardstock, and that's going to work well. So don't be scared of clear stickers and having to only be able to use them on less busy layouts just because they're transparent, because you can alter them in terms of putting some white cardstock behind them. So just finishing it off there with some of these little clear stickers and working out exactly what is going to go on. They're really cute. It was really hard to make a decision, but also to bite the bullet and actually use them. It is something I really wanted to hoard, but we should use our things especially so that we can enjoy them for the beauty that they are in the pretty albums when we're searching, looking through them, or sharing on social media platforms, or sharing in real life with our family and friends. Much better than them sitting in a box or a bag or on a shelf where nobody is no longer seeing them anymore. So we've got some lovely little sheet of labels and tiny words. So I'm going to add some tiny words to the layout, because you can never go wrong with tiny words. I guess you could if you put the wrong phrase on a layout, but tiny words are always welcome in my scrapbooky world. So you can see here I've got basically just embellishment to the left of the photo, and then a big one including the title to the right of the photo. Or you could have it as the title is the title, and a little embellishment above and one below, and then one to the left of the photo. So however you look at it, I think it just works really well on this layout. And I love that the pattern paper in the background gets to sing in its entirety and be the hero, rather than it be covered up and only a little bit seen. I did feel like it needed an inked edge, just like all the other pattern papers on the paper on the layout had. So I have added that, and it's not something you can see too much because of the black mat that I've got, but it does stick out in the album because of the edging of the page protector. trying to get this ribbon bow on it, and I decide that it's going to sit there and overhang on the edge of the title, and then I'm just going to stick it in to the pattern page on the page protector so that we can have it work. And here's where I realized my album is a 6x8, and what the hell, why did I think it was an 8x8 when now that I've looked, it's quite obvious a 6x8. But anyway, that's okay. I will either let it hang out or I'll put it in my 12x12 and make a different layout for this album. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. Hopefully you've got some creative time in, and have a great day, guys. Bye.